everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are visiting an old friend. Yes, we are back with some Necrons. It's been a long time, not since Zarek, or the Void Dragon in fact, but we are now back with Imotekh the Stormlord, the brand new version of him, sent to me early by Games Workshop to build up and paint for all of you, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. He has been primed in grey here, and we are not going to mess about. We are going to jump in and we are going to start painting him. So, the colour we're going to be using first is Poxwalker. I'm going to be applying this over the top of the entirety of his cloak. I'm going to work on this first because, well, once we've got it done, we don't need to touch it. So we're just going to start by getting this all over the top of his cloak, both inside and out. That's another reason why we're doing this first, is because, well, the cloak is all wrapped around him, so we want to get that done so that we can get on with the rest of the armor and things like that, and not have to worry too much about avoiding things. Instead of getting that all finished up. So we're just going to get this Poxwalker all over, and then once that's done, we shall return. So with all that Poxwalker applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to do a little bit of blending. So the colour we're going to take is a roughly 2 parts contrast medium to 1 part Aeldari Emerald mix. And essentially what we want to create is a couple of islands of brightness. So the first one of Island of Brightness is this kind of fold in the cloak here. And the second one is this one round here. Then we've got a third one just here at the tip of the inside, and I'm just checking my reference picture to see if there's any more. No, there isn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this mix and we're going to start applying it just like this. Bring it down like that, bring it past this scarab, bring it up and over up to this row just here. Then we're going to wash the brush, and then around here we're going to take a clean brush and we're going to blend it out into our Poxwalker, and then similarly along here we're going to do the same thing. Like that. Then, on the other side, we're going to apply this Aeldari Emerald, like this, coming along, all the way to the bottom of the cloak. Going to bring it up like this, and then we're going to take it all the way along to the bottom of the cloak. Then I'm going to once again wash the brush, and then we're going to blend it out around there, around here, just like that. So you can start to see these two colours starting to work together. The inside is a little bit easier because we basically want to get this over the top of the entirety of the inside, excluding this little brightness island just around here. So what we'll do is we're going to do a little circle like that, wash the brush, and then blend around. The inside like that. Then we just want to get this over the rest of the inside of the cloak. Just like this. So with that all done, we're now going to do a very similar thing, only this time with some Terradon Turquoise, and specifically a roughly 1-to-1 mix of contrast medium and Terradon Turquoise. And we're going to go a little bit less this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start up here in this corner. We're going to bring this down like this to that rung, and to just under the scarab, like that. We're going to wash the brush, and then once again we're just going to feather away the line to create a lovely blending effect just there. We're then going to continue coming down this way. Coming across there. We're then going to wash the brush. I'm going to blend around there. Like that, and then up this end we're going to apply the Terradon Turquoise like that, wash the brush, and then once again just do a little bit of blending around there. Like that, and then I'm going to continue this down towards the end, like that. Wash the brush one more time, and then just around here smooth out those transitions like that. We want to go over the top of the top edge like this, And then on the inside, we're essentially going to do what we did before. And then we're going to do like a sort of circle like that. Wash the brush. And we're going to smooth out those transitions. And then we're going to apply this over the top of the inside of the cloak. However, a slight deviation here. And then we want to get right up underneath, like that. However, this little section up here behind this arm, we're just going to leave it. So it's just that little bit brighter. Like that. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Terradon Turquoise on its own, and this is a bit where it can get a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply this in just a couple of little spaces. So I'm going to apply this just here, like that. We're going to wash the brush. And then we're going to once again just do a little bit of blending, just to smooth it out. This is going to give us our darkest areas. I'm going to do this just around here, starting just there. Wash the brush. Give it a little bit of a blend. And then we're going to do the same thing in this bottom corner. Just there like that. Wash the brush. Give it a little blend. Just like that. So with that done, we can now move on from the cloak. It's looking pretty cool. So we're going to move on, as mentioned, and we're going to start work on all the metallics, of which there are many. So the colour we're going to be using next is some thinned down Iron Warriors. Now this might seem a little bit dark, but that's okay, because we want it to be as dark as possible so that when we come to shade it, we get some really effective shading before we brighten him right back up. So we're going to be applying this over the top of all of his, well, I guess his body. But what we will also do is we'll pick out the whole of, or the entirety of the scarabs in his cloak. I'm not 100% done with the cloak, but we're done with the hard bit. So with that all done, it might seem a little bit early in proceedings, but what we are going to do now is work on the blades, because we've got a bunch of different things going on around here, which we need to kind of get the silver and black and things on. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some striking scorpion green, and we're going to apply this over the top of Imotech's weapon. We're looking for a nice smooth finish here. So with that all done, we're now going to do a little bit of blending on those weapons. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some warp lightning. I'm going to use this very specifically. So around the kind of curvature of the sword, or the blades I should say, at the top, what we want to do is, you can see just in there, there is a little edge here. So we're going to apply the warp lightning like this, coming up to that edge, and then bringing it around like that. Then we're going to quickly wash the brush. And then we're going to blend it into our striking scorpion green. Like that. Then we're going to do the same thing around this diode here. So I'm going to apply this like that. Then we're going to wash the brush. Do a little bit of blending. Then on this edge here, add a little bit of warp lightning like that. Again, wash the brush. And then we just blend it into the striking scorpion green like that. Then one more time on the underside of the blade here, following along again. I'm going to apply the warp lightning, wash the brush, and then blend it again into the striking scorpion green. And then we're going to replicate this on the other side. However, down here, what we're going to do, it's a little bit easier here, is we're going to apply the warp lightning, coming down the sort of cutting edge, just there like that, and then down the top of this bit to around about halfway, wash the brush, and then just here we're going to blend it. Then we're going to replicate that on the other side like that. Wash the brush, and then blend it out. We just need to add a little tiny amount just there. Like that, just to even it out. And then we're going to go back to working up here. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is take a small amount of Terradon Turquoise, not very much here at all. And we're looking for the kind of deepest areas where we want the energy to be kind of coruscating across the blade. So we're going to add a little line like that. I'm going to wash the brush. And then we're just going to smooth it out just a little bit, like that. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Wash the brush. And smooth it out. Then around the diode, and a little Terradon Turquoise there. Wash the brush, smooth it out. Same thing above it. Wash the brush. Smooth it out. And then just in here, add a little bit like that. Wash the brush. And then smooth it out. And then we're going to replicate that across the rest of the blades. Similarly down here, a little bit of it like that, right in the recess. Wash the brush, and then get in there a little bit more towards the base. Wash the brush, then get in there, just like this. We're going to do this across the rest of the weapon. So with that all done, what we can now do is take Terradon Turquoise, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of our going to be black details. So this is going to be areas like the staff, the tabard, and some of the weapon housing around the staff. So with all that Terradon Turquoise applied, we're then going to take some black Templar. I'm going to apply this over the top of all that Terradon Turquoise. Just like that sort of thing. But what we're also going to do with the black Templar here is we're going to apply this over the top of our little scarabs. Specifically their bodies. And their heads. Basically just leaving their little legs. So with that all done, what we're going to do now is we're going to take some thinned down Runelord Brass. I'm going to apply this over the top of the trim of the tabard, so all of this section. Coming down here. Like that. And we'll do it on the other side as well, of course. But we're also going to apply this over the top of this cable. Just here. Like that. And over the top of, I think we've been through this before with Necrons. I'm pretty certain these are called a cartouche. We're also going to apply this over the top of this kind of little decorative trimmy bit here. I'm going to apply it over the bits on his helmet or head. I'm going to apply this over the top of the shoulders as well. With all of that Runelord Brass applied, we're then going to take a little bit of Leviathan Purple. I'm going to apply this over the top of any smooth cabling. So we've got this one here on the arm. And we've got a couple in his tummy. So with that all done, we're now going to once again take some thinned down Iron Warriors. I'm going to use this to tidy up any mistakes we might have made, but also to block in all of the remaining details, excluding any of the kind of glow type things. The bits that are going to glow. I was trying to say glowy globes. That little cable just on there. I think we're good on the rest of him, aside from these bits on the weapon. So with that all done, it is now time to add some shades. I know we haven't done the glowy globes yet, but we are waiting to do those because it's not quite the right time. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the shades. The first of these is going to be some Nuln Oil. We're going to apply this over the top of all of the silver and the purple. And with all that Nuln Oil applied, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to use this over the top of all the Runelord Brass. So with that all done, we're very nearly there for the Warhipster Battle Ready stage. But what we are going to do in order to get there is we're going to first take some thinned down Corax White. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of our orbs. This is just how we can correct any mistakes, any splodges, but also just brighten them up that little bit. So with all of that Corax White applied to all of our orbs, including the eyes in there and over the top of the white stripe down the front of his head, what we're going to do now is we're going to take some Tesseract Glow. And I'm going to apply this over the top of all of our orbs. And what we want to do here is, if there are any recesses next to it, you just want to let this run in there. Just like this. So with that all done, Imotekh the Stormlord is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and he's looking pretty cool. However, we're not going to leave him there. Of course not. We're going to take him to the next level now, and we're going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. Now the first of these is going to be a layer, and it's going to be some thinned down Leadbelcher. What we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of all of his silver, just avoiding any of the recesses. This is going to give us a really nice, bright, punchy silver. As you can see just there on the chest. So with all of that Leadbelcher applied, he's starting to look pretty cool. So what we're going to do now is highlight all the silver. I'm going to be using some thinned down Ironbreaker to do just that. So I'm just going to grab that on our brush and start picking out all of our edges. Around the model. So with that all done, the silver is looking absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do is move on to the Runelord Brassy bits. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Runelord Brass. And we're going to use this to now relayer our wide open brass bits. So mostly just the sort of shoulders here and the headgear. But if there's anywhere you think you can get your brush into, then absolutely go ahead. We're just looking to get this over the top of the flat areas. Just like that sort of thing. Just avoiding any of the recesses once again. So with that Runelord Brass now reapplied, we're then going to take some thinned down Canoptek Alloy. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the Runelord Brass. So with that all done, all of the beautiful brass is now beautifully highlighted. So what we're going to do is move on once again to our next colour. And this is going to be some thinned down Corax White. We're going to use this to now highlight the weapon. And so with that done, there is just one last thing we're going to do, and that is to take some Deepkin Flesh. I'm going to use this to gently dry brush the cloak. So Imotekh is now done. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish off the base. The colour we're going to be using here is Black Legion. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the Necron stuff. And with that now done, we're going to take a small amount of Basilicanum Grey. I'm going to apply this over the top of the little bits of soil. So with that then done, we're going to use a tiny little bit of Leadbelcher to pick out the legs and the little kind of diode on the top of our scarabs. And just like before, we're going to take some Tesseract Glow. And rather than pop it over some white, we're just going to drop it in over the top of the silver that we just put over that diode. Like that. And so all that's left is to finish off the basing in the same style as the rest of your army. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some astrogranite debris. I'm going to apply this over the top of all the negative space. And then I'm going to give it a dry brush of Tyrant Skull. But you've seen me do that several hundred times by now. So we'll see you in just a sec for the wrap up. And so with his base now complete, Imotekh the Stormlord is now finished, and it was quite fun to return to painting Necrons after a very long hiatus. As I said before, I don't think we've done one since the Void Dragon, which was quite a long time ago now. Is it 2 years? Maybe one? I don't know. Anyway, he's really cool. He's a nice little model and a lovely redesign. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com
youtube.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.